I think this explanation, worse than even the fumble itself, he's handled this horribly.
Props to you, James Cameron, for the way you produced the hell out of that Whitlock. I mean, I'm sitting there like, this is Oscar-worthy, man. You kept going in and out, sound bites, so respect to that. There are a couple edits I would like to add to something that you put out there, and you put out there in an eloquent manner. I respect that. I can't even disagree with you in totality, but I will go in here and slice and dice a little bit.
Go ahead.
One is, has anyone ever thought that he left that locker room and actually he left to take the high road and protect a coach by the name of Mike McCarthy, who didn't declare that he should have stayed in the end zone by mandate?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And so, you know, as a player who's on a contract year making a business decision, I can't out-coach. I'll take the L, but I have to make sure that I stay on brand. I make sure that I say the right thing in messaging. I don't have that calculated yet. Maybe I dip. Okay, it sounds like a weasel move, but maybe that's a part of his thought process. But let's go to the part that I think that he is absolutely correct in, and you shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater in this respect. He's establishing borders. He's basically saying, look, for all you critics out there who were coming at the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line for talking about Le'Veon Bell's money, at least they put their names on it and put their faces to it. I got some bums in my locker room who can't even walk up to me as brethren and say what it do. And I know if I was in that locker room, no matter what I did, I thought the fraternity is going to respect each other as members of it. What colors and what jerseys do anonymous players wear? I asked you that question again. So
They make split decisions, too.
Okay.
And the guys talking made a split decision to call him out after the frustration of that game.
In summation, I will say this, Whitlock. Establish borders, because if not, you enable a culture that leads to a malice in the palace. Establish borders because you can't be talking about my family because I made a bad football play. Okay, you can't be talking about my character. Oh, you want to? That's fine. But there are borders to this conversation. I play a game. I make decisions. There's consequences. Outside this game, please understand your passion doesn't allow you total freedom into my life and into my family and to any other dynamic outside of football. I respect him for get off Twitter. I respect him for establishing those borders.
I don't mind his response at all. I'm always at odds with the anonymous media writer, the anonymous player. I think it's cowardly. And when you look at his frustration, it's not a victimist role. It's truth. It's flat out truth. I think I
can't trust my teammates anymore because one person.
No. Understand this. I think if that doesn't happen, he gets up and because he admitted to the fact that my instructions were the same as they always were. It always have been on return. If it's in the end zone, let it go. If it's not, I made a split-second in-game decision because I wanted to try to make a play. You keep spinning it as a business decision, but in the middle of the game, guys aren't thinking, oh, let me see how I can get my money on this play. No, I want to make a play because he admitted to being frustrated. I get that. And your Whitlock, you were on a lot of these points, but you forget to throw the teammate aspect of it, of why he's frustrated now, what he's talking about. And
money.
No. When you're in a locker room and somebody's jabbing at you, it's different when I can hear Whitlock jabbing at me.
I did all these different things for the team and sacrifice
when you can hear
money.
And see somebody like yourself.
I don't want to do that anymore.
Go ahead, Tony.
I want to win the game and not let Aaron Rodgers do it.
You know, as always, as always, it's never just one person's fault. I mean, you've got to give the coach, the special teams coach, Mike McCarthy, that's his responsibility. Let him know, communicate. I don't think that would have happened in other winning organizations, a la the New England Patriots. But he has majority of the responsibility. His response right there, all he's doing is making it worse. I think he's giving away his power. Own it. Take it back. Put it on me. Don't say I'm the victim. I've been doing this and this and this, and I'm trying to gain the respect, and I'm trying to make a play. I agree with you. Just shut up and say I messed up, and there's nothing wrong with that. As his teammate, I would be like, you know what, Ty? I know you were just trying to make a play. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I want to retract what I said yesterday, cut him. I wouldn't have cut him. That was wrong for me to say.
Yes.
But now looking at this, where do you go from here now?
Hold on, Tony.
Where do you
First
go
of all, you're not the same teammate going to say respect, big dog, because you owned up to it, because you're anonymous. So you're not even going to come up to me. Who are you in this locker room that had the complaints against me in the first place? Those anonymous players is where this fire started. It wasn't Mike McCarthy versus Ty Montgomery. It wasn't even the play. We all get it. Aaron Rodgers more than likely would have got him in field goal position. More than likely, hopefully, Crosby makes that kick, because in Detroit, we saw how that went. Yeah. And more than likely, they win and they put a blemish on the Rams. However, this became a firestorm is because one of his own started to say, hey, man, we have a problem with what you did, and we understand it was a business decision. But all he's saying is, one, y'all went too far with it, and two, who are these guys that are talking about me?
Just as a journalist, Marcellus, sometimes the only way to get the truth out is to grant somebody some anonymity.
Yeah, that's real.
That's the only way as a journalist. And so I'm sure Mike Silver's in there and, like, he wants to reflect what the actual thoughts are in that locker room. And the guy in that locker room was like, man, I don't want to put my name on it. But
so why say it? Guy in the locker room?
Thank you.
Okay.
Man, you shut your mouth. It don't matter. You shut your mouth, because you always, in this profession and in sport, you have to always put yourself. I never like to show up my quarterback. The reason why, I felt like I was very confident in what my abilities were and what I was going to be able to do on the football field. But there would come a time where I would drop a ball. And I knew that was going to happen over the term of my career. So I never wanted to show my quarterback up every blue moon when the ball was not where I wanted it to be, because there will come a time when it's my turn to be looked at like, what now? And that's all I'm saying. When you have an anonymous person in-house, it's just like somebody in here saying something about you. You would have a problem with it.
Hey, I really would.
You guys are really sensitive right now.
Hold on, you
guys
can't
are
say
really
that, Tony.
sensitive. Are you guys on Twitter? Are you guys on Twitter?
Yes, I am.
You know what trolls are, right?
Oh yeah, I love them. I'm a troll.
Energy. So you'll go out there and you'll be like, oh, nice suit, Whitlock, or you look like a fool, whatever it is. Why would you? So people are going to do that. People are going to talk trash in your own family. He said, in my family, we don't do it. I got a couple people in my family that might say a little something behind my back. Nothing wrong with it. Doesn't mean I don't love
But Tony, you know the
I don't have. I'm just saying, get over it.
And you can't say that to the side of the table. First of all, this is consecutive days. We had this divide. We could keep this rolling. This is a dude who retired and put his name on his criticism of his former quarterback.
Absolutely.
I mean, he didn't hide. He didn't say anonymous teammate of Aaron Rodgers. He went there and said,
hold on.
Did he not?
Hold on. I got a cookie. Let me give it to you.
Let me get that.
You know Whitlock gonna fight over them cookies. You better stop.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I would never do that. But at the same time, if somebody does that to me, I don't have to read the trolls. I don't have to feed into the negativity, the energy vampire who is that. Maybe it's Aaron Rodgers. It could even be Aaron Rodgers. Him and Silver are friends. They both went to Berkeley. We all went to. I used to have a good relationship with Silver because of the Berkeley connection. I'm not saying it is Aaron Rodgers, but I'm just saying I don't care. I'm going to keep doing my job. I'm going to own up to it, and I'm moving on for the betterment of the team. Because now you're saying this divisive stuff right now.
And so now, when the team comes back on Wednesday, Tuesday's the day off, there's going to be another round of questions. Now, what did you think about what Ty Montgomery had to say? What's your response to that? And if he had just swallowed it and eaten it and taken responsibility, the story goes away. He gave the story new life and new energy. And again, I'm tired of athletes. In sports, there are no victims. There's only men responsible for their actions.
I agree with that.
And for these guys,
I agree with that
this
part.
whole, oh, my God, my teammates now, I don't trust them anymore. Well, do they trust you to do the right thing at crunch time? That's the question. All this little talking behind each other's back, that doesn't win or lose football games. Your actions on the field, whether they can trust you at game time when between the lines, that's what matters most.
What parallel universe are you living in where you thought that they were going to show up on Wednesday and all things were just going to be status quo? Hold on.
If he ends it,
two of y'all already sold out one of your teammates.
Thank you.
And even if I'm not one of those two or I'm not Ty Montgomery, I'm sitting there like, who's selling people out around these parts? Because guess what? Next weekend,
we know
somebody's
who
going
it is. We got the tape. Ty Montgomery did.
But somebody's going to make the mistake next weekend. And guess what? When Crosby missed all those kicks, imagine anonymous players were sitting there saying, cut the dude, go after him, or what? You know what? He wasn't even focused.
Understandable.
He wasn't even focused the night before.
If he had dropped the ball in the end zone, and people would have, That's understandable. Those mistakes happen. We're talking about a decision and where the motives have to be questioned. I don't blame his teammates for doing that. And again, I think it comes...
And you my teammate?
Wow.
Man, Whitlock.
For coming out of the end zone today.
Wow.
Y'all act like y'all never seen anybody do something selfish in a football game.
And you act like you don't say everything that you've had to say about me, praise or criticism, has come from you directly, whether it's text, conversation. You have never went around the corner and said, oh, it's not from Whitlock, but guess what? It's coming from Whitlock. And that's what I'm saying.
I don't believe in anonymous sources as it relates to me because I want credit for everything that I say.
Going forward, what they need to do, if I'm Mike McCarthy, how do you fix this? You have Ty Montgomery. If I was Ty, I would want to go up in front of that locker room with my teammates and address them and be like, look, maybe some of you guys said some stuff, but if not, I'm willing to let it go. I screwed up too. Let's just move on because we got a long season ahead of us. We got a really good football team. We got a big game coming up Sunday night. I'm just saying I would put
Let me tell you how Mike McCarthy. Let me tell you how Mike McCarthy just put it to bed.
Do that?
Let me tell you how Mike McCarthy just put it to bed.
Cut him, right?
No, he just got traded to the Ravens. They've put it to bed. Ty Montgomery handled this poorly. He threw gas on the fire yesterday, and they moved on from it. He went and attacked his teammates and questioned them. The Packers agree with me. Tony Gonzalez agrees with me. The dude handled this horribly, and they had to move on from it.
Man, that's sad. I wanted what Tony said. I wanted him to go to the front of the room, and I wanted Mike McCarthy to say, hey, we a real team right here.
And whoever
Who are those
said,
two anonymous
y'all
dudes?
come up here too.
Bring your butt up here, too, and let's talk this through.
Regardless,
Let me ask y'all something. Let me ask
Now
y'all
we still
something.
got an issue.
Yeah, we still got
two snitches up in here, homie. Two snitches.
And
You can win. You can win with snitches. You can't win with people making terrible decisions, selfish decisions on a football game at the end of the game when you got Aaron Rodgers.
But did he get traded because of the fumble, or did he get traded because of the way he reacted?
The cover-up's always worse than the crime. The cover-up's always worse than the crime.
If he come out and say that, then I think he'd still be on that team right now. But he shouldn't have responded that way. I wouldn't have responded that way. But
I don't like it. I don't like it, but I'm not in charge. I mean, it's funny to me how we give passes to certain players because what they've done in the past was more than enough. Mason Crosby got a huge pass because he had a bad day.
And he acknowledged it, and he's a Pro Bowl level player. He's not third string.
You're making this point.
Thank you. There's no way to not acknowledge it because nobody came out and said Mason lost the game for us.
And they should have, because he
Because Mason said it. He didn't need anybody else
Ty
to
Montgomery, he didn't even get a chance to say it.
Because he ran home and ducked the media after the game.
It wasn't just that he ran home and ducked the media. Even if no one ever said anything, I think he handles this completely different because now he has nothing to talk about internal divisiveness of guys not trusting one another in-house.
Or selling out his coach, who we know didn't tell him to stay in the end zone in the first place.
This is happening live. Ian Rappaport just reported he's been traded to the Ravens. I guarantee you, this is my journalistic instincts, I guarantee you Ty Montgomery asked to be traded as well. He wanted out of there. Because not man enough to be accountable for his actions, and instead of dealing with that situation, instead of going to his teammates face to face, you got a problem with me? He wants to go into the media and throw gas on this situation rather than take responsibility for a dumb decision.
You guys do acknowledge that Mason Crosby did come out afterwards and say, I lost the game.
I love that.
It's all on me.
I love that.
And I think we probably all have done that too. We messed up in games.
But
hey, put that on me.
You know
he
what?
should have did that.
You know what allows him to do that even more so? And I think he would have done it either way because Mason, that's just who he is. But when his quarterback comes up to him after the game, after he makes that kick, the last kick, where his coach then allows him to kick a field goal because he knows I'm going to need him later on. He allows him that opportunity to make it right. Then his quarterback, the leader of that team, comes and embraces him. It's all good, man. Like, you had a bad day. Did Ty Montgomery feel that same respect?
What did he do? What did Aaron Rodgers do when he fumbled it? He was like this. Because he looked at another player and was like, this fool. I mean, come on, Aaron Rodgers.
He took the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hand. Aaron Rodgers ain't supposed to go over there and comfort him. He's supposed to look at him like, man, you crazy. That was a crazy decision. We got to move on.